Anyway, all right. Oh God, done betting on them. There's one over here on Periscope. Done betting on. Man, I am so done betting on this team. I do not bet on. I'm such a bad bettor. I bet on in this game. I'm not happy about it. I'm gonna try moving that thing over here. That was awful. That was bad. That was just bad. It was bad from the beginning. It was bad from the end. It was bad, bad, bad because the whole time, we knew it right before the game started. I mean, everybody knew right before the game started that this was going to be rough. It was an all-righty lineup. It was something difficult. Okay, it does say mute. So, yeah, if you can unmute me and bring that closer, maybe that'll be. I don't know. Yeah, no sound. All right, so there we go. Okay, it's starting to work. Thank you. All right, so that was extremely difficult. We knew it. Let's go over to the other thing, please. Thank you. So we started off the day because with poll results, right? So we started off with poll results about a poll about whether or not, I'm sorry, this is a whole new setup and it's really, really weird to me. I got to figure it all out. I'm so sorry. But basically, we did a thing. I wanted to know before the game. It was an all-righty lineup. And the only thing I wanted to know was did people like this lineup? Did people not like this lineup? I wanted to know. And what we got was, I got almost 1,000 votes on this. And most people said, analytics say yes. 11% said analytics say yes, go with this all-righty lineup. 73% of you said, or let's wait on that, 16% said, I don't know what to think. And 73% of you all said, go with the hot bats. Have the right guys in at the right time, and that's what we need, right? And that's what I kind of agree with. And this is from the beginning. I know I've been the always positive guy, and I still think it's fine. I still think there's still a lot of time left. I know 2 games sounds like a lot, but they were 4.5 last week. So let's not get too crazy about it. This was tough. But they're like, Manny, yeah, hitting home runs, that's fantastic. Let me get you through some of these poll results to make it so we can kind of start understanding together why this lineup is doing the things that it's doing. I'm getting my face cut off there a little bit. So here's one. Here's the thing. Brian Robitaille, and by the way, this is a great point from Brian Robitaille. I'm all in on this point. Here's the thing. I don't even think that analytics say yes. Maybe for Cody, but just look at Muncy's splits. A 985 OPS versus left-handed pitching. You had a left-handed pitcher on the mound again tonight. There was no reason for Muncy not to be in that game. Also leads the team in practically every major offensive category. It just boggles my mind how you sit your best offensive player every other game. Muncy got a at-bat in this game, but yes, Brian Robitaille is absolutely right. This is a time when you see that he has a 985 OPS against left-handed pitcher, and this is a left-handed pitcher that is not playing all that. Robbie Ray is not that great of a pitcher. He had around almost a 5 ERA. He was great. He was good earlier in the year. He hasn't been good over his last 3 or 4 starts, and this was a time to have Muncy in this game, and no reason whatsoever to have CT3 in this game anymore. All right? I said it on Twitter today, at Bergman Greg. That's at Bergman Greg. I said it. My love affair with Chris Taylor is over. I was a huge Chris Taylor fan. I was started all year, and I stuck with him, and I was a big, and I've just been watching over and over again. And over the last few weeks, it's just gotten harder and harder and harder to watch this guy and his at bats every single night. They just they're not even good at bats. They're really bad. And I can't understand why he's getting in there. There's no reason for him to be in there. Just because he's a right-handed bat and he's decent in the outfield, then you do not let him come up there and bat 4 times and have him strike out 4 times. It's just enough. I mean, especially in big key situations. There's too many times where you're seeing CT3 just simply not cut it. And there's guys in the look, we're almost on Saturday, and guys are going to start coming up. Alex Verdugo is going to come up, and Andrew Tolles is going to come up, and Kyle Farmer is going to come up, and you're going to see a whole bunch of these guys. The whole kind of we're all going to see these kind of things, all right? But CT3 has no business getting an everyday role anymore. I'm sorry. Taylor is not the right answer anymore. You just can't stick with him anymore. It's just not how it can be. So the lineup, let me get you through some more of these poll results because people were all wanted. The question is, what do you think? My question is, I didn't like it. I understood why they did it with the all-righty lineup against a lefty that was having a terrible time against righties this year, and it just didn't work out. But what more worried about the bullpen? I'm not worried about the bullpen. The bullpen was solid. It was solid again tonight. It's really been the ninth inning, and I think Kenley Jansen will be fine. What side of the place did Yaz go yard from last night? Look, you can't really go too much with that because Yaz went yard from the right-hand side, but that doesn't happen as often. He is a left-handed batter. He needs to stay in the left-handed spot, and you can't have Austin Barnes. He's going to be in one of these, and he got a hit, and he had some long at bats. He just puts his bat on his shoulder for the most part, and that's just who he is, and that's kind of how it works. They're going to outthink themselves right now out of the playoffs. If not, Carol, go with the hot bats, in my opinion. Now is the time to go with the hot. Looks like the analytic way is paying off, and there's a picture of Simon Cowell with his hand in his face. This isn't working. Classic overthinking. Dodger analytics are the worst in the MLB. I do not like analytics. Well, for the starters, I don't think they'll miss Bennett, but for Max Muncy, we're just going to have to see. I want to say go with the hot bats. Chris Taylor will be the downfall of us all. I don't get why you keep getting benching Bellinger. It really pisses me off. He's too talented to be benched because of pitching with matchups. I mean, this is all the types of... Muncy hits lefties just fine, but you have to play Muncy. There's the only issue with Doc, the lineups, guys like Hernandez and Barnes in there. Hernandez has been really hot lately, so I'm fine with Hernandez being there. But that's the lineup is the problem. And we can get more and more into the lineup because I know that's what you guys want to talk about and that's what you want to hear about. I just want to get through the rest of this. Manny Machado has been great. I mean, he came up through with a big home run again today. That's 4 in his last 5 games, 7 in his last 12, I believe. He's really starting to heat up. Hopefully he can come through in the big clutch moments coming soon. Rich Hill pitched a great game. He looked really good until that one bad pitch to David Peralta, hit a 3-run home runner, and that was it. I mean, there was chances other places, but you can't blame Rich Hill for it, and then the bullpen was great right after it. The positive thing, and we had to get to it at some point, right? There had to be the positivity at some point because that's who I am and that's what I do. I do the positivity, and this is that part. All right, the positivity for today is that tomorrow you have Hyun-Jin Ryu, who's been fantastic, who's been really, really good. I don't know why that happened, so sorry about the. No, this is all going nonsense. I'm sorry. This is me. There we go. Okay, no more double audio. All right, so all these guys are gonna you have guys. Ryu tomorrow, Kershaw on Saturday, Walker Buehler on Sunday. You can very easily go 3-3 in those next 3 games and win this series 3-1. And if that happens, which you can really easily see happening, with going Ryu, Kershaw, and Buehler. And by the way, Zach Greinke's a really good pitcher. The Dodgers has consistently hit him. They usually hit him very, very well, and it's not a problem. I don't know. So things are going crazy with the computer. But so I think you can get to Greinke tomorrow. Oh boy, there, that's gone. You can get to Greinke tomorrow. You can get to then you have Kershaw and Buehler, and you can win those 3. You still can't hear me. You should be able to hear me now. Or do you have the microphone on there? Okay, good. Yeah, so you guys should be able to hear me now. Shouldn't be a problem. I'll talk a little bit louder if I have to. But here, what the problem is that so now you got you win 3 the next 3 in a row, which is very, very possible, and it can. And this I've been real. Look, I told you about the lineup, Alex Sanchez. I'm being real, and this is another. You keep telling me not. You can very easily win these 3, and if you do, then you're 1 game up on the Diamondbacks in that situation. I don't know what's going on. I know that Colorado and San Diego are tied right now, and they were in the bottom, and they were in extra innings. I don't know what's happening with them, so if someone can keep me updated on Colorado, I'd love to see them lose too. That would be great. Thank you for being able to hear. I appreciate that. And then, so there's all these things are going to happen. All right, so I think that's enough that you see all that I wanted to talk about in there, but now let's get to all of your questions, your comments, your replies, everything. I'm actually kind of surprised. I was expecting a lot more anger coming right through here. We need these wins. I totally agree. Jerry Guzman on YouTube, totally agree. This one, it was a tough loss. It was a very tough loss. I think they can still come back and win the next 3 though. And that's not being hyperbole, and that's not me thinking that I'm crazy or you're crazy. I honestly believe, and it's Ty 22 watching now. Thank you, Black Pontiac. Laroyo Chris Taylor, I don't know. I don't know about Chris Taylor either. I've been a big Chris Taylor guy, and you can ask anybody at Dodgers Nation. I've been a big Chris Taylor guy, and I just don't believe in him anymore. The guy is swinging through everything. He is looking at bad pitches. He can't seem to even figure out where the strike zone is. He gets a bat on ball every once in a while, but it's very, very rare, and it doesn't look good for him. He needs to not he needs to be a bench guy from now on. Now is the time to have other guys in. You can Saturday's coming, other guys can be brought up, but it's time to see guys like Max Muncy and Cody Bellinger in the lineup every day. I'm done. I'm done with the magic analytics. Matt Kemp is not a number 4 batter. As much as Andrew Friedman and Farhan Zaidi want him to be the number 4 batter, the cleanup hitter, he is not that guy. I'm sorry. He just isn't that guy anymore. He just doesn't know. Some of these guys just don't look right at the plate, period. And it's very weird, and it's very odd, and I don't get it, but we'll see what happens. All right, let's see. Marianne Lasina Vargas. Just think, if we would have just split with AZ for the year, we would be in first place. You know, Marianne, there's a lot of games you could say shoulda, coulda, woulda in a lot of these, and it's just not working out. And a lot of it, you have to put blame, and it's not on Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts is a guy. Okay, here's my soapbox time. Okay, now is the time for me to have a full-on soapbox with you guys, and I'm going to be as honest and forthright and upcoming to you as possible. And you can agree with me, you can disagree with me, that's totally fine. The manager does not have anything to do with this. Dave Roberts is a figurehead. He is a guy that is going to talk to the media and tell you what he saw, or what Andrew Friedman and Farhan Zaidi saw. It's going to be, he is a guy that's trying to keep the egos down. There's not a lot of egos on this team, but he's trying to keep the egos down and working well together. The manager wins and losses combined 8 to 10 games a year, period, end of story. The manager doesn't matter if you fire him, bring somebody else in, they're going to be the same person, because the lineups will be exactly the same. And this is not the time when back in the day when Tommy Lasorda had all the control in the world, or Walter Alston had all the control in the world, or Bobby Valentine, or Joe Torre, or anybody had all the control. They don't anymore. Mike Scioscia, I don't even think he has control anymore. It's not about that. It's about the analytics, and this is how this team is going to be run, and this is how most teams are going to be run. And if you look at their salaries, Dave Roberts getting paid $1 million a year. Period. That's it. End of story. $1 million a year. That's all he's getting paid, and that's what he's going. And that's what they're going to. Most guys look at Chucky up in Oakland. He's getting $10 million a year. He got paid $10 million because that's what a guy does. He actually makes decisions in NFL football, so they pay him accordingly. In baseball, they don't pay them very much because they're nothing. They don't do anything. They are there, they sit there, they yell at the umpire, they keep everything in line. But really, this is Farhan Zaidi and Andrew Friedman, and they run the ship and they do everything. This is so it's just not that way anymore. So let's get that's at the end of my soapbox. This is not Dave Roberts. So if we're gonna get that, everybody we hate Dave Roberts, it's not the truth. It's not how it is. This is just not how games are anymore, unfortunately. So if you're going to hate somebody, I don't. I like this front office. They're doing what they can in terms of bringing in the talent. They have all the talent offensively. They have all the talent in the bullpen. They have all the talent in the front, in the starting rotation. They have all the talent in the closer position. They all just has to come together at the same time, and it's just not there. I don't know what else to say. Okay. Roberts is the man. Good. I'm glad you like Millie. I'm glad you like Roberts because he's doing what he's there to do. Daniel Ornelas. Dodgers front office is the Jerry Jones of the MLB. Let the managers do their job and see what happens. That's not anywhere. Daniel, go to watch it. Look at A.J. Hinch in Houston. He's not doing a damn thing. Alex Cora in Boston. He's not doing a damn thing. It's all these guys. It's all coming from the front office. Joe Madden maybe has a little bit of say, but for the most part, Theo Epstein is very much in charge of that team, and he is the guy that is the analytic guy that is bringing it all together. That's how it is. Oh, all right. I'm done. I'm off my soapbox. I'm ready to go now. Going back to you. All right. On Instagram, Dodgers bullpen seems too weak for postseason. Raw. I don't know what games you're watching because you're seeing what you're looking at is guys in the ninth inning, and you're seeing guys like Scott Alexander struggle in the ninth inning, and Kenta Maeda struggle in the ninth inning, and Dylan Floro, and all these guys. Kenta Maeda said it yesterday. It's a whole nother animal pitching in that ninth inning than it is in the 7th, 6th, 7th, 8th inning, or even in the 10th, 11th, 12th. Pitching in the ninth inning in a save situation is a totally different beast. And a guy like Kenley Jansen is the only one on this team that can and will be the guy to do that. He is the one that is going to bring it all together. If he goes, The whole team goes. So right now, Dave Roberts said that Kenley Jansen is the closer for this series, and I believe in Kenley Jansen. And if he proves me wrong, then he proves me wrong. But he is the guy now. And when this game tomorrow, if Hyunjin Ryu gives them a lead and they're in the 9th inning and they need somebody with 1 run, it's going to be Kenley Jansen, and you are going to live and die by Kenley Jansen. Just how it is. John Gregory, bring back the player manager. Doesn't happen anymore. I would love for that too, but it's just not possible. Where are all the bias haters at? No run since the 9th of August. Pierce Gasser's a great point. Look, his strikeout of Goldie in that, I think it was the 7th inning. Yeah, his strikeout of Goldie in the 7th inning was beautiful. It was absolutely fantastic. It was great, and I love seeing him doing this in August. I don't want to see him anywhere near a mound in September in a game that matters. Look, I still keep him doing great. Like, he hasn't given up a run in 9.1 innings. I think it's something like that. 8 games, 9.1 innings. It's actually probably more than that now. It's probably now 11.1 innings and 9 games. So he's been great, but it's just not how it's going to be. No, I'm not a biased fan. I'm not going to ever be let him do his thing now. Great. In the middle of the season, all for it. But that's just not how the game works, and that's not how it's going to be, and it's too bad. Let's see. Starkness, what's going on Twitch? Welcome back. No volume on Twitch. It was a rough game. Hopefully you can see it. Needs to sit. Okay, maybe I think you can hear me now. Send down CT3 and bring up Verdugo. Okay, Alex Verdugo will be up on Saturday, so I think they're just trying to make it to Saturday at this point to bring everybody up. That's how it looks. But Verdugo over his last, I think he's 7 of his last 23 with a home run and 2 RBIs, and only 2, count them, 2 strikeouts in AAA. 2 strikeouts. The entire team, Chris Taylor had 4 tonight. He had 4 strikeouts tonight, and I think at least 2 of them were just looking at him. And he's just a frustrating guy. We claim Bryce Harper, give them Puig. David Ginzo, that was just to block somebody else. They were never going to bring in Bryce Harper. It wasn't going to happen. The only guy that they put in, Ryan Madsen, is the only one that I think they put a waiver request on. There might be somebody else, but I just don't know who it is right now. And Pat Madsen is talking about Ryan Madsen is the answer. LOL. Yeah, Ryan Madsen, I was looking at his stats earlier today, I think. Ryan Madsen has given up 7 earned runs in the month of August. He gave up 4 in one and one run 3 other times. So Ryan Madsen, not the guy that you're worried about. So here's the thing. You're on a 25-man roster. You have 15 spots in the 40-man roster. You have to already be on the 40-man roster we brought up. If you're not already on the 40-man roster, you need to take somebody off of it and put that other person on. So a guy like Manny Banuelos, who's been pitching really well in a relief role in AAA, if you want to bring him up, you need to put somebody else, take somebody off of the 40-man roster. One of the guys that you could have possibly seen. Oh, San Diego won. Hey, Oscar Rivera. Thank you. San Diego won. That's a great thing. So now, still only a half game behind Colorado, but they're a game and a half now back. So this is also going to be tight. It's a whole weekend. Let's not get too crazy about it yet. They still need to make it through the weekend. But if you're going to bring up a guy like Manny Banuelos, you need to bring him. You need to sit somebody on that 40-man roster. The only one that you really look at it, you have 22 pitchers on the 40-man roster, and they just added a 23rd because they put Josh Fields back on the 40-man roster, and they took off Rob Seguin. They designated him for assignment just today. So that was a guy that you thought maybe Manny Banuelos could be more, but they brought Josh Fields up instead. So I don't know if he's actually up yet, but they put him back on the 40-man. So you can be on the 40-man and still in AAA or AA, but you will not be tried. Thank you. Yep, Padres won. That's a good thing. We're all very happy about it. But there's a lot of things, a lot of guys. But you have to imagine you only have 15 spots left to bring up on this 40-man roster. Automatically, guys that are already on the 40-man roster, Alex Verdugo, Andrew Tolles, Kyle Farmer, and Tim Locastro on the offense. Plus, you have Chase Utley. He's going to come back onto this roster. There's a lot of guys that we didn't see before, and they're going to now. Do you think that Verdugo should have already been called up last week? Verdugo should have been called back up 2 weeks ago. So, yes, I absolutely do. CT3 is leading in strikeouts. Yeah, he's been absolutely terrible. We need to play small ball, and at some point, they want home runs, and this is a home run-driven league, and it's just how it is. If you can please take off my Twitter, it's covering my face. Thank you. And there's just a lot of things that they're a home run hitting team. This is what they want. They want these solo home runs. I think they need to shorten up their swings, just like Chris Taylor does. I don't know if I can't figure him out. It's very frustrating though. Do you see Utley claiming a playoff spot? Probably not a playoff spot, Andrew, but I think that he will claim a spot in this 40-man, especially right away. So that's another guy. It's immediately 5 guys right back onto the roster. You're down to 30. A lot of them are going to be in the bullpen. Bottom second inning, they showed Kemp, Kike, and Puig huddled around Turner Ward. Is that bothering Dave Roberts at all? No, I don't think Dave Roberts cares, to be honest with you. I mean, look, I think he cares, and it hurts him just like everybody else, so that's silly to say that he doesn't care. But the problem is that Dave Roberts doesn't do much. He doesn't make the lineups. He doesn't make the decisions. All the decisions are made up before by the... I mean, I don't know if people want to tell you this or they don't want to tell you this, but it's the truth. It's just how it is, that he doesn't make that many decisions. What positive things did you see about Rich Hill today? Besides the high pitch count, I saw a lot of positive things, Dodgers. I saw his curveball looked good. He was hitting his spots. There was a couple times, I mean, this umpire was a little bit crazy, but he held them in check. Some guys got on base, but I think he had 6 or 7 strikeouts. He was striking guys out. He was getting out of jams. He had one bad pitch. And that one bad pitch was the first pitch to David Peralta, and he almost got out of that. He actually you had 2 guys on, and you have Paul Goldschmidt up, who's just killing it. Volume is struggling on Facebook. I don't know why it's struggling. I have everything. You know what? I think it's because it's this new setup that I got going on. I'm not going to use it again. It was just a shout out, but I'm trying to talk louder for everybody. I'm sorry. But the Dodgers, maybe if we bring this closer, I don't know. Let me grab this. Sorry. I'm just going to leave this here. All right. Hopefully that's a little bit better. It looks like it's better there. I don't know. Hopefully everything's good now. Maybe that's a little bit better. I'm just going to move things closer, and that'll be better. We lost tonight, dude. Yes, we did lose tonight. I don't know what I'm deluding myself about more, but that's just how that is. One damn cookie from Hill. Yeah, it was one bad pitch from Hill. But his pitch count was high, and that's why he didn't come out in the 6th. And you could see he was pissed about it. He was pissed about it. So I think there's a lot of positivity from what you saw from Hill. And Hill recently has been great. He's been really good over the last 4 or 5 outings. Since he's really come back and since he got that blister thing figured out, he's been much, much better. You said slightly better. Which is the side? Here, we're gonna. All right. How's that? All right. All right. There goes Instagram. I knocked everything over. I'm going crazy. This has been just an awful day for me. All right, Brock Stewart. Yeah, Brock Stewart is on the roster. He's going to be coming up as well. There's a lot of guys that you're going to see, and they're going to be coming up, and it's going to happen more often. All right, let's see what we got here on the Periscope. Nobody tells Bruce Bochy what to do. He's an older school manager. Zaidi the Great. He's an older school manager. He's still that guy. And look where Bochy is. Bochy is he's what 5 or 6 games back. I think he's 6 games back, and he's not going anywhere. I mean, they're not making the playoffs. They're hovering around 500. He's not going there. He had those 3 World Series, and that's what he's living and dying by. But they're just not that good. And they just traded Andrew McCutchen, who was one of their big offseason acquisitions, to the Yankees. So I don't know. 100% better. Thank you. Perfect. I'm glad everything is better now. If Dave Roberts made lineups, do you think we have a better record? I don't. You know what? Maybe he listens to the people that actually see these games. Look, everybody, it's crazy when we all have ideas, right? We have the right idea. We have the top of the lineup. It's all correct. You have Dozier, who wasn't that great tonight, but he did have a hit. Dozier, Turner, Machado. 1, 2, 3 is perfect. And then from there, we just got to start sticking with it. I get the matchups, and you're going to play a lot of matchups, and those are going to happen. But I think you need to mess around with that middle of the lineup more. Keep Muncy in that 4 or 5 spot. Keep Cody Bellinger in that 4 or 5 spot. Stop putting them down below or not playing them. I know they want days off, or you want them to have days off, but you got to get into the playoffs. You have to win these games. These are important games, and these are ones that you have to win. So I don't think you don't play Chris Taylor every day. You can play Kike. You can split time with Kike. That's totally fine. He is great against lefties. Not so good against righties. So you don't play him in that situation. Today was a good day for him to play. He just wasn't perfect. Not stop playing Chris Taylor. That's exactly what we can do. Yes, I agree. We don't play it. Pat Matson, Gabe Kapler on line 1. You're assuming that Gabe Kapler is the one making all of these decisions and not the Philly front office. because the Philly front, Gabe Kapler has never been a manager. I know he did some stuff down in Triple and Double A, and he was with this Dodgers team last year. He probably would have been the guy if they didn't hire Dave Roberts. It probably would have been Gabe Kapler as your head coach, as your manager. But it's just Gabe Kapler. Maybe because he's a crazy analytical mind that maybe he is making some decisions, but for the most part, it's mostly the front office. You think Alex Cora is really the guy making all the decisions in Boston? It's unfortunately that's just not how it is. What are the odds? Or I missed it. What are the Friedman and company seeing in Taylor to keep him in lineups if they are making the decisions? Clay Kitchen, it's a good question. The only thing I can think of is that his defense is very, very good. And people love to look at the WAR, and he had an over 3 WAR for a long time, and now it's dropping. But his WAR, his defensive ability is really, really good. And he's an athlete, and he's fast, and he has the ability to do a lot of things in the field. So it's a lot of that. But his at-bats are just impossible to watch. It's the same kind of deal with Austin Barnes. Austin Barnes is a guy that is just a killer at the plate. He's just not very good. He does what he does is what he needs to do. So if he comes on with 2 outs and he's in the 8th spot, and you have the pitcher up in the 9th spot, and you want to get back to the 2nd or 3rd inning, and you want to get back to the start the next inning in the top of the lineup, so you have to get to your pitcher. Austin Barnes will probably get you on. Maybe he'll walk, or he'll have a long at bat, and he'll make the pitcher work a little bit longer, 3-2 counts, 6, 7, 8 pitches in that at bat. Maybe he strokes a single randomly like he did tonight, but for the most part, you hope that he could just kind of get on base and get that walk, so you can get to the pitcher. He obviously normally gets out depending on who it is, and then it goes back to the top of the lineup, and you start with the lineup all over again. Tony Bosch, Roberts is a puppet. I hate to say it, but yes, 100% I agree. I don't ever like saying those things, but yes, I honestly think he is a puppet to Andrew Friedman and Farhan Zaidi, and he is just there as a figurehead. All right. You must not read Twitter comments. You're overlooking common sense. When we leave runners in scoring position, we lose. We need to get men on base, drive them home. I'm agreeing with you. I don't know where I'm not. Barnes is good defensively, but he's not a good offensively. He's great. This is if you've listened. I know Hookville. You've been here before. You know that we've had these conversations, and I've said before about Barnes. He is a fantastic defensive catcher. His pitch framing is some of the best pitch framing in all of baseball. Just like the guy Ryan Murphy today for Arizona. He's not in there for his bat. He is just as bad at the plate as Austin Barnes is, and he does the same thing. So he is great defensively, but he's just not that great offensively. And the runners in scoring position is a problem, but it's also because you're getting Turner will get on base, or like there was twice in this game alone. You had Turner and Machado both on base. One time on 1st and 2nd, and one time's on 1st and 3rd. And Matt Kemp then comes up, double play, or he strikes out, or whatever it is. And all of these things are all happening because the lineups just don't make sense. And you can talk to anybody. Most people all agree. I just don't get it. CJ19B Baller. Does Dozier re-sign in the offseason? I hope so. I don't think he goes back to... I think he loves being... They called him Hollywood in Minnesota anyway. I think he likes being here. I think he likes LA. I think he likes the big lights, and he likes to play here. So I think you do re-sign him, and I think you can re-sign him for a little bit less. And it's just the whole thing with Manny, that you would like to re-sign him, and he's really starting to heat up now, and this is kind of what you expect from him. But I think he wants to go to New York. Might be jumping ahead, but does Friedman try to re-sign Machado or let walk due to money? And Nick Cortez, yes, you're jumping, but I was just talking about that. He wants a lot of money, and he's starting to prove it now. And he's starting to get big hits. He's getting singles. He's getting doubles. He's hitting home runs all of a sudden again. Manny Machado is starting to play like Manny Machado, and he's a great defensive player. Third base, shortstop, doesn't matter. He is the real deal on the defensive end. So he's going to want, $300, $350, $400 million. Dodgers probably won't pay it. The Yankees probably will. So you could probably see him going to the Yankees. I think he wants to play in the Yankees. He wants to play with Philly. I just don't think he wants to be in LA. I hope he does. I would love to see Manny a lifetime Dodger. And he's young, too. So I would be all for it. Bottom of ace was their best chance. There was a chance in the top of the first. They were in the bottom of the first. There was a chance in the bottom of the fourth, and there was a chance in the bottom of the eighth. They had 3 great chances, and they blew most of them. All right, let's go over to Twitch because I know my boy Starkness is here. Send him down and work on his swing. Yeah, it's you don't send him down, especially now with rosters expanding on Saturday. You don't send anybody down. Nobody gets sent down, especially at this point. Let's see what else we got here. I'm gonna come back over here to Facebook. Machado will be a Yankee. He's gone, man. I mean, that's most likely. That's what I'm saying. Most likely. David Jinzo, Ryu is the weakest. Yeah, he probably is, but he's been pitching really, really well. So you hope that he continues that. And it's not the starting pitching. Yeah, Rich Hill gave up a jack to David Peralta tonight, and that was a problem, and that hurt. But I think that that's not. They had many chances to get on, and especially against a bad pitcher in Robbie Ray. He's just not that good. I don't, like you could see it. He's not been that good over his last 4 or 5 outings. You can see it. Nobody was even swinging in the first inning, and they got 2 guys on, and then Matt Kemp swings at 3 just awful pitches. He just swings right through some of these sliders, and it looked terrible. And yeah, it was just absolutely frustrating. 1 Puig, 2 Turner, 3 Machado, 4 Dozier. I don't know what you're seeing in Puig that I'm not seeing because he looked good for a little while, but he's not there, and he's not your leadoff batter. If you want to talk about on-base percentage, Puig is not giving you that on-base percentage anymore. Turner is. Dozier has a pretty good Machado is. If you want to go with absolute, just Jock should be in the Jock as a lefty will always be your leadoff batter, and I love him as a leadoff batter against righties. Besides that, I want Dozier there. If not, if you really want to go by the on-base percentage and really play the analytic game, then maybe you go with Bellinger in leadoff and let him do something there and just get on base. Because with 2 strikes, Bellinger is doing what most guys should be doing, and a guy like Mike Trout does do, is that with 2 strikes, he shortens his swing and he just gets on base. And that's what you want from your leadoff batter. So if you really want to see somebody go there, put in Bellinger, but he just doesn't hit that well against lefties, and that's how it's always been, and that's why he sat tonight. But I don't agree, because he has been great. I thought he should have been in there for this. Let's see. I believe Manny Machado will stay and re-sign with the Dodgers. Good. Jose Gonzalez, I'm with you. I hope so, too. Doubt it, but I hope so. Dodgers have the money for it and will help the team to win and improve the offense. I agree. I would love it. I just don't see it happening. I hope that I'm wrong in that situation. CT3 strike 3? Yeah, absolutely. CT strike 3? Absolutely. That's who he is. CT3 strikes. Sure, Franco Ojeda, whatever you want to say, but that's who the guy is at this point. And I hate it, but I think we're going to make playoffs. Dodgers got to step it up because games are going by, and I really hope so. You know what? Bougie Butera. Oh, a little Butera reference. Yes, I do think they still make the playoffs. I still think this is not anywhere near out of reach. Even with the loss tonight, I know the loss was bad. It sucked to watch them lose. But you still have 3 more games just in this series alone with the Diamondbacks where you can still jump them. You win all 3, you're a game up on them. You can split with them and only be a game back. But after that, you still have 3 more games in Arizona, against Arizona. You still have 6 more games against Colorado, where they're going to play each other. And so you have a little bit more there. And Colorado still has to play Arizona 7 more times. And if you think one of those teams is going to sweep the other, you're wrong. Because they're going to beat up on each other. So during that time, the Dodgers can easily jump over that. 1 Verdugo, 2 Turner, 3 Machado, 4 Bellinger, 5 Dozier, 6 Kemp, 7 Puig, 8 Grandal. Not bad. Not bad. You're missing Muncy in there. Verdugo, if you are going to do that, I'm fine with Verdugo, Turner, Machado, Bellinger, Dozier. I would probably go Kemp, Grandal, Puig. Puig in the 8th spot just gets it. He hits very, very well in the 8th spot, and he really always has since they put him in there last year. So, yes. Have I seen the schedule? Yes, I've seen the schedule. We still have games against the Mets, who are just god-awful. You still have games against the Padres, just god-awful. There's a lot of games that they have an easy time to do this. So, it's... all right. We need Brett Butler. Sorry, I got lost in the Brett Butler. That would be a bunt, because you would actually see a bunt for once in your life, but that's just not it. Now is the time to use a set lineup. Too late for all the shifting. It's crunch time. That's how you and I think, and that's how most people think. The front office thinks differently. They think it's going to come through. Look what happened last year. I mean, they figured Curtis Granderson got put so much. He got put in every single game leading into the playoffs, except they had a 10-game lead, so it was different. But for the most part, they want to see these guys just figure it out. Greinke gonna shut the show down. Mike Chavez, nah. I think they hit Greinke pretty well. For some reason, these guys just understand how to hit Greinke. So I'm hoping that's what happens. CT3 strikes 0 for 4 Ks. Rob probably will put him at the leadoff tomorrow. You can't put him at leadoff, and I hope that you actually see him sit. I want to see him sit for the rest of this series. Bring him in as a pinch hitter sometimes, but when you do bring him in as a pinch hitter, make it like the 6th or the 7th or the 8th, not in a really 6th or the 7th, not in like an 8th or a 9th situation when you really need him. Yeah, Curtis Granderson. They kept playing him over and over again last year. That's just how it was, man. You know it too. Let's see what we got here. And this is still the MLB. We shouldn't underestimate anyone. They call it ruining someone else's season for a reason. It's going to happen. That's what I'm saying. Will Kenley even be in Colorado? It's a great question. I don't know. He just doesn't feel well there. But you most likely, yes. Yes, I do think he will be. I think he said there were some other things involved there. All right, Pat Matson. Does Kershaw walk at the end of the year? If so, who becomes the ace? Who do the Dodgers spend the money on with $30 million off the books? All right, Pat. If you want me to accept your premise, I don't think he walks at the end of the year. But if you want me to accept it and say, yes, he does, who becomes the ace? Walker Buehler becomes the ace because Walker Buehler is the absolute real deal. He is not just throwing. He is pitching. He is a pitcher. He knows how to get out of positions. He knows when to use certain positions. He's not afraid to use pitches at certain times that most guys maybe would. He'll use his heat when he needs to. He'll use the... He'll bring it down in velocity when he needs to. He is a very good, smart pitcher. I think he's going to be your ace moving forward if for some reason Kershaw's not here, but I think Kershaw stays. Cardinals and Reds upcoming 0 for 7 against those teams. Yeah, well, that's it. I don't think they have the Cardinals anymore, but I might be wrong. I know they have the Mets and the Padres and the Diamondbacks and they have the Giants too. I don't think they have the Cardinals anymore. Taylor has to sit the rest of the season. He's not going to sit the rest of the season, but he should be sitting for the most part now. Every situation is really needed, dude. Okay, most situations, but this is a time when there are still 29 games left. I believe that this is 29 games yet. Sit to T3. I like that. That's a good one. Yes, it is important. So DeGrom or Buehler, if we have DeGrom, then he's obviously the number one guy, but you're not going to get DeGrom. And maybe in the offseason. We'll see. Is Buehler ready for the ace role? Yes, Pat, I do think he is ready for the ace role. I think this guy is the absolute real deal. You haven't seen a guy like this since Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw for sure walks, dude. Dude deserves a ring and won't get one with LA. And, I love the negativity because that's what most things is. Most likely he does not walk. He's still going to get paid $32 million for the next 2 years if he stays and he just opts in. Assuming he opts out, I bet you he still signs with the Dodgers and he signs for a four-year deal and it's still going to be somewhere around $30 million, $25 to $30 million. He's still, I just assume he's going to stay. Because look at him. He is pitching like Clayton Kershaw again. Maybe not with the high velocity, but he's pitching like a pitcher. Greg, step into Lasorda's shoes. Give us fans a motivation speech about the rest of the season. All right, you want a motivation speech for the rest of the season? All right, here we go. This is what we're going to do. All right, there's still 3 games left here against Arizona. And just in this series alone, you win these 3 games, you're in first place alone by yourself because most likely the Padres are going to do what they need to do and beat the Rockies. They beat them tonight. They can beat them 3 more times. So by the end of this, it's very easily. You can have the Dodgers back in first place by winning these next 3 games. Then they're going to come back, and they got games against the Mets, and they got games against the Rockies, and they got games against the Padres. And these are all winnable games, and the Giants are all winnable games. So this is not over. Over these next 29 games, the Dodgers could easily be in first place and walk away with this division. Is that a good motivation for you, Andrew? Hopefully it did an okay job. That's not my forte, but you try to do it anyway. Have you bought your Pedro Baez jersey, Starkness? No, I will never buy one. I'm happy with what he's doing. It's great. It's fantastic to see him be so good right now, and he's pitching really well. I can't say anything. That strikeout to Paul Goldschmidt was beautiful. But for the most part, I don't want to see him in a big position. And I still will never ball him in a big position. So no, I will never buy that Pedro Baez jersey. And I will never forgive Pedro Baez unless he wins me games in the playoffs. There you go. Now that they reset the luxury tax, I wonder if they're willing to re-sign Machado and they play with the luxury tax game in 20. See, I think that's what happens. I think that that's a good... that's a good point, Starkness. I think that for the most part, that is what happens. They're no longer 5-time repeaters or 4-time repeaters of the luxury tax, and they have to pay this exorbitant amount. They're going to drop back underneath it. They start all over again, and they put money back on the. They're going to put money back into this. I would love to see them pay for Machado. Do I think it happens? I've never seen Friedman pay for anybody, so like a big amount. So I don't. You can't until it actually happens. You can't say that it's going to happen. I know someone said I'm overconfident. I was doing a confident speech for somebody. So, and also I still think they're gonna make the playoffs. I'm not alone. I hope I'm not alone in that. I hope all of you guys are with me still. That the Dodgers are still going to make the playoffs. I know it looks bad, but I still believe with this division is very easily could very well be won by any of the top 3 teams. Hell, the Giants could even somehow find their way with everybody beating up on each other above it. I don't think that happens. But I think all could easily do it, and I think the Dodgers could easily do it too. Is Utley coming back Saturday? You would think that Utley would come off of that DL stint that he was on Saturday when the rosters expand to 40. So you got to assume you have 25-man roster. West Coast, maybe, but dude, the Yankees are gonna squash any offers made to Machado, most likely. But you hope that he stays. That's all I'm saying, for the right amount of money. But all right, so here's the thing. Yo, Greg, want to drop $50 on LA making playoffs? I don't bet money on anything anymore. I am a terrible gambler. I just know what I know and I feel what I feel. I don't put money on it. So, Brian Hatfield, if you want to put mythical money on that, I can't do it. I don't put money on anything. I've learned my lesson, and I stopped going to Vegas just because I lost too much money. I know what betting does to me. And especially on my teams, I always lose. I bet $10,000 of mythical money on the Mason Ireland show today, and guess what? I lost. So that's what happens. I lose every bet. I'm terrible at gambling, and I know it, and I hate it, but it's true. All right, so Saturday, we're all building. This is all coming. What's going to happen? You have coming off the DL. Utley will probably come on 25-man roster right now. It goes up to 40. So most likely, Utley, Verdugo, Tolles. Farmer, Locastro probably comes back up because he's extremely good. So that's 5 more. You're down to 10. Now you have 10 pitchers. Most guys like Daniel Corsino and Josh Fields, and you can bring up there's a whole bunch of other pitchers that you can bring up that were on the 10-day DL. You know, it's like Floral's back up. There's a whole Venditti's up still, I think, and Liberatore can come back up, and all these guys. There's plenty of names that they're going to have a full 40-man roster, and it's all going to go to that. They have the lowest clutch hitting for teams since 1974. Johnny Macajohnny. That's an interesting name. Johnny, yes, it's been really bad when it gets to that's all comes with the lineup, right? These are all things that go all together. I think you're looking at a team that they're having guys like you have Manny Machado, you have Turner on third and Machado on first, and Matt Kemp is your 4th hitter, and he's just not the Matt Kemp that you saw in May and not that you saw in early June. That's just not the same Matt Kemp. So you can't continue to put him in the 4th spot to have him ground into double plays right there. You have to have somebody that's going to come in and have a good at-bat, and that's the better spot for Cody Bellinger or Max Muncy, guys, like especially Bellinger, with 2 strikes, who's going to shorten up the swing and just get on base and bring guys in. That's what I want to see. So sorry, Brian Hatfield. Best part about this postseason, we are all going to be able to have a stress-free October. No, John Gray, we're going to be stressed out every single pitch of every single Dodger game. They will still make the playoffs. They will still make the playoffs. Sleepy Vic 67. We will win the next 3. Thank you, Sleepy Vic. There's some positivity. I love it. I think they'll make the playoffs as well, but I won't be mad if they didn't. It was a great 5-year run, and I know they would be back on top next year. But again, I'm confident they'll make it this year. Thank you, Starkness. At least you're confident they'll make it. How close is Stripling? They don't know. He's still having some back tightness. He was supposed to come off yesterday or the day before, and he didn't. And they're saying he's not even going to make it up on Saturday. So he could be coming back up soon. I'm just not sure. He's going to come off that DL sooner or later. And then there's another guy in your bullpen that's going to be better. And look. Alex Wood probably moves to your bullpen. Rich Hill could easily move to your bullpen. I mean, there's a bunch of guys. The bullpen will be fine. I'm not worried about that. I think they're all going to give it. No lowest clutch hitting team since Game 7. That's a good way to put it, too. If Machado would have been on second in the 8th, Kemp's ball is not a double play, and Turner scores. Absolutely, David. But that's baseball. I mean, you really can't. What are you supposed to say? The ball bounced off the wall and went right to David Peralta. There's nothing you can do there. He did his job. If that ball doesn't hit the wall and goes all the way to the corner, then he's on second base standing and already. And Turner comes around to score most likely. So it's a 3-2 game with a runner on second. Even if Matt Kemp does ground out, he's moving Machado over to third. And so there's so many different things happen, but that's baseball. You have to admit that Muncy's at-bat was terrible today. Yes. No, that at-bat was absolutely awful. Maybe that's why he didn't stay in the game. They didn't take out Kike sooner from that first base spot. But it was awful. I mean, he swung at a pitch. He swung at ball 4. He swung at ball 4 in the dirt and then looked back at the umpire, and it wasn't even close. Said, was that close? Number's like, no, that wasn't close. That wasn't even anywhere near close. So, yeah, it was bad. It was weird. Let's see. Oh, but he's not like 2 years ago. Hook Bill, look, he's pitching good. He's pitching into the 8th inning, and he's getting 8-9 strikeouts, and they're swinging strikeouts. He's hitting his spots. His accuracy is almost not perfect, but it's really good and strong. So you have to be more impressed that he's becoming a pitcher that is all about, like Greg Maddux, a guy that just finds his location, and that's what he's doing. Sinaloa, I don't know why you're even bringing up the D-backs. That's not okay. Love the enthusiasm. Good, I'm glad you do. I'm here to be enthusiastic, but here's the thing. I'm not bought by the Dodgers. I don't have anything to do with the actual Dodgers. This is actually what I believe. This is actually what I think happens. Hamilton out. We will win the next 3. Yep, someone is on drugs. That was somebody on Facebook. I just want to agree with it. I hope that they win the next 3. I do think they win at least 2. I think they win both over the weekend. I think it's going to be interesting what happens tomorrow. Ryu versus Greinke is going to be interesting, but I think that for the most part, Kershaw and Buehler both get the wins. I absolutely think they win those 2 games. You might be the most optimistic person I had. Adjust your meds. Brian, look, I'm optimistic because I believe it. I don't know what you want me to say. Nobody's telling me to be optimistic. I'm just being optimistic because that's who I am, and that's what I actually believe. Watching the games, it's tough. But I think if they finally figure out the lineup, which we're all upset about, then I think that it gets better. Kershaw was able blew a 7-run lead. Jeez. Muted by moderator. I didn't mute anybody. When did Kershaw blow a 7-run lead? He blew a big lead in the World Series twice. He blew a 5-run lead and a 3-run lead, I think, or something like that. So let's not get away. Well, I don't think it was a 7-run, but he did blow a giant lead. And twice at that. Let's see. This team has no fire. LA determined is a joke. I didn't like the whole LA determined thing anyway, but they do have fire. I think that they're not trying is just crazy to me. Verdugo, when did the 40-man roster arrive? Joe Valenzuela, the 40-man roster arrives on Saturday. My birthday, September 1st. Greg's birthday. Yay! I'm going to watch UCLA football, and that's going to be my day. I'll watch baseball, too, as well, but I'm watching UCLA for the most part, and this Dodger team, of course. Bring back the Undertaker's entrance music when the lights go out again in Dodger. That's crazy. Okay, I understand if one time the lights go out because something crazy happens, but twice? It should never, ever go out twice. You figure out the problem right after that. Ugh. Jeez. Let's see. What color is the sky in your world? Well, it's white with, some, what is that stuff called? What's the stuff called? Asbestos. No, yeah, it's not asbestos. No, it's the stuff that's on top of the ceiling. So it's white. I think you can kind of see it there on that picture. But no, it's blue. It's blue and shiny and wonderful. Ugh. Ricky Kusiyanagi. USC is not. I hate. Yes, UCLA. Pat Matson. We agree of something. I love seeing an agreement on something. All right. Actually, he gave a 4-1 lead, and then Kenta threw a fastball to Altuve, and the rest is history. We don't need to go through any of that stuff. That was in a different game. He did have a big lead in Game 5, and he blew it twice. And that was the game that went to like 13-12, and they won. It's just brutal. The Undertaker is a Dodger fan. Good. I don't watch that fake sport. Because fake sports are fake, and I can't watch a fake sport. Yes, stucco. No, it's not stucco. Stucco's not on the ceiling. It's not stucco on the ceiling. It's the little stuff. The little, the popcorn. Not popcorn. Popcorn ceiling. Is that what it's called? Popcorn ceiling. Okay, yeah, popcorn. Turn the page. Yep. Turn the page. Go to the next game. Team has no fire. We can keep talking about this illicit fire. I don't know what fire. Oh, racist. Yeah, the ceiling's white. I'm racist. No, I said blue. I said it's a blue sky. Who are you talking to? You can only talk to us. Sorry, Nash. Look, my lady is sitting right next to me. I got to talk to her. She answers questions for me. She has answers. I give them. Yeah, you know, I'm not alone. I'm not that much of a loser that I watch every single pitch of every single game. Or, I mean, I do that, but, you know, that's sometimes how it is. Now, excuse me, I've only been watching the Dodgers since 1958. You know what? Because you're older than me, you absolutely know more than me. Of course, Hook. Because you've been a Dodger fan longer, you know more. Hey, good, fine. If that's how you feel, it's wonderful. I've been a Dodger fan since I was born in 1983. I was not even anywhere near you in I think 1958. Didn't they just move to L.A.? Oh, you can hear her when she whispers? Popcorn, see? Popcorn. Never forgive him. He started the downfall after we had a 3-1 lead. We don't need to go back into any of that old stuff. We should have known the season was going to be crap when the sewer main broke. Oh, I know, that was crazy too. The sewer main, it's gone out twice. It's just a weird year. It's the curse of poo garbage. I watched WWE, so I enjoy it. Look, a lot of people like WWE, and a lot of people. Michael Thompson at ESPN, he loves it and watches it every single game, or every single Monday Night Raw, I believe it is. The day I found out it was fake, back in like the 80s at some point, I was like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, and I found out that it was fake. I just said, that's it. I can't watch a fake sport. I'm sorry. Acoustic ceiling. I'm getting good acoustics. Exactly. Let's see. Fire Dave. All right, Gregory Peach. We've talked about this. I'm happy to bring this up to you one last time, especially in my last 7 minutes. Fire Dave Roberts is not a real thing. Fire Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts doesn't do enough to be fired. He doesn't do really anything. He's a figurehead. He's a face. He's a guy that just does what he needs to do. He talks to the players, and the players get along with him, and that's what he does. He does what Farhan Zaidi and Andrew Friedman want him to do. They will never agree to what I'm saying here, but that's fine. But there's more to it. He doesn't really do enough to get there. Let's see. Greg, are you hiring? Popcorn. I hope they win the next 29. That's what I'm saying. 4-0 lead, and then 7. Yeah. Popcorn. Are you hiring? Hey, you know what? Andrew Martinez, if you go to DodgersNation.com, they are looking for interns. And if you want to be my intern, I think you can actually do that. You don't come here because I'm doing this out of my room with a camera, so I can't actually allow some random person to come into my room with a camera to do this with me. But you can come on and I can talk directly to you, and we can, from your home, and you can be a guy that I just say, hey, can you look this up for me? And you get me the stats, and it's all this kind of cool stuff. So if you go to DodgersNation.com, you can do those kind of things. And that's, so go to DodgersNation.com and find where they are doing this stuff. Next show, everything's got to go through Dodgers Nation. So I don't know if it's next show. I don't know if it's in a week or two. It's all up to Dodgers Nation. They have it all for it. But to go to DodgersNation.com and you can be something like that. If Turner would have gotten that throw to Dozier, would have gotten out of the inning with a 3-run homer. Without the 3, yes, that's baseball. Things happen. Hey, bro, say hi, Brazil, guys. Hey, Bruno Alves, what's going on? Happy. I'm going to do my version of your show, but it's going to be a show of negativity. The Ehor broadcast. John Gregory, have at it, man. That'd be great. I mean, look, I'm negative. Here's the thing, though. I'm going to be negative to the team when I feel like they need to be negative towards. Tonight, there was a lot of things that I thought they should have been that was a negative. I thought the batting order was a negative. What they had, having CT3 in was a negative. Those not having not having Muncy in the lineup was a negative. There was a lot of things that were negatives, and I don't like, and I will tell you when it's a negative. When it's positive, and I think they're going to be fine, I do believe that. Send CT3 to Oklahoma City. Nobody's going to Oklahoma City. Everybody's being called up in the 40-man roster on Saturday. Nobody's going down to Oklahoma City anymore. It's just not how. If you want to put them on that fake DL, it doesn't matter. Even then, you don't have to because it's 40-man roster. You just don't play them. Did Machado call Turner off that play? No. Where are we talking about? When he got to third base? No, he was barely made it to third because it bounced off of the wall right to David Peralta, and it held him, and it held Machado at first, and then because of that, Turner barely got to third, and if he didn't, there's no way he was getting home. So Turner can't even make a simple throw to complete a double play. That was a tough play, Hamilton. I mean, like that was a tough. He had to throw it off of. He was basically falling down, a quick play, just trying to get it over there. He had to go around Robbie Ray, who was running right at him, so he had to go around him to get that ball over to second base and over to Dozier, and Dozier did a great job catching that ball. So, no, I don't think that was a Turner is a fantastic third baseman. So, be careful a little bit there. Let's see. I got Greg. If we replace you with CT3, could you take a better at bat? That's the thing. Yes, I could, but most likely they would challenge me. They would challenge me right down the middle every single time, and most likely I would strike out on 3 straight pitches. However, I think that I'd be able to have a better eye. I actually had a good eye for a while, where I'd have a better eye where I'd be able to see that it's going to be outside the strike zone. I'm not swinging at bad pitches. I may not hit the pitches in the strike zone, but I'm not swinging at a lot of those pitches. And I'm definitely not going with that full uppercut swing that he goes with, trying to hit the ball out every single time. Not happening. All right, let's see. Farmer Tolls Verdugo coming up. Yes, all 3 of those guys are coming up, plus more. Probably Tim LaCastro, probably other guys, maybe Manny Banuelos if they can move somebody off. Jesus, do these people think it's easy to be a professional baseball player? No, they don't. They're asking silly questions. I don't think Nash Cabs really believes that I can go up there and hit better than Chris Taylor. I think it's not the truth. I'd bunt. There you go. You bunt and you can get it. I have the speed to get it. I'm actually pretty fast. Not as fast as Taylor probably, but I can actually. Fine. Taylor, bunt. Do something. Farmer a little iffy on being up here. Look, all right, so Taylor. A lot of people are, and I think down there they're a little iffy on him too, because Farmer, they're playing him at third base a lot. I don't think they like Farmer as a catcher, and I actually read somewhere, I don't remember who it was. Let's see. Yeah, Farmer, they like him as a third baseman. They don't really like him as a catcher. They brought Will Smith up to be basically the everyday catcher. He's not hitting very well. He's got a below 400 OPS in AAA. So I think he's really just a third catcher. But for the most part, I don't think he likes him there. But he will be up because he's already on the 40-man roster anyway. Dodgers tend to love making garbage pitchers into Koufax. We need a new hitting coach. Turner Ward, I thought, was actually doing a really good job, and he was turning Puig around, but it's not really. If somebody's going to go, it's going to be Turner Ward. Turner Ward is going to be that guy. All right, it looks like I only have about a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes left here. I got to get to everything. Call up Rocky Gale. Yeah, I mean, most of these, they have to be on the 40-man roster. You got to move a lot of guys on. So a lot of these guys you're not going to see. You're not going to see DJ Peters. You're not going to see Jake Peter. You're not going to see guys in. You're not going to see Gavin Lux. You're not going to see Dustin May. All these guys are not going to make it up. But that's what's going to happen. I got under 2 minutes. I'm really going to go. Why are the Dodgers so good at making average pitchers look like Koufax, Robbie Ray? Really the same kind of question. Totally agree. It's just, for some reason, they just can't hit it, and it's all about the lineups. The running and scoring position is because of who's in that lineup, who's in that spot. You're not having guys that are going to be able to get on base in those positions. It's difficult to watch. Faster than me, probably. Yeah, maybe. Well, if you were watching the Dodgers in 1958, then I would hope I'm faster than you. There'll never be another Koufax. Never. No, there's not. Because but Koufax only had, what do you have, 8, 9 years, somewhere around there, and he ended too early. Like, yeah, he was fantastic for those times. Who the hell is right? Rocky Gale is in I think he's in Double-A or Single-A, I believe. I'm trying to remember. I've been paying attention a lot to the minor leagues, and I don't remember exactly who he is in there, but I believe he is a minor leaguer for the Dodgers. I changed my mind just now. Dodgers win. Thank you, Alex Sanchez. We got to change over here. All right, I got about 50 seconds. I'm going to try and get to everybody. Zach Neal, if he's not on the 40-man roster, most likely he doesn't make it up unless you're a guy, I think maybe Manny Banuelos. Guys that have been doing well. Let's see. Saw wide strikes for the Dodgers and not for the... Okay, no, that's not true. This umpire was terrible. He had it high, wide, inside. He was giving it... There was multiple pitches that Rich Hill pitched that were inside the zone, and he got called for a ball. Guy was just terrible. Left, right, all the way around. All right, that's it. That's all I got left. I'm sorry, time's up. But hey, let's remember, win the next 3 games. I'm done here. Win the next 3 games, and it'll all be fine and dandy. But here, at Bergman Greg, follow me on Twitter. I'm happy to answer everybody and everyone. That's all I got for you. Love you all. See you next time. Peace.